What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with NIO stock and what you should be watching for going forward. I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla and SPY in the QQQ and NIO, talk about the technicals, and why tomorrow is going to be a massive day for the entire market as we have the FOMC meeting going on. So I'm going to break down when it's starting and how this could affect NIO alongside what the technicals are telling us. Before I break down about all this information though, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And finally, don't forget about the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and put in $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO is up another 5.83% for the day. Let's go. This thing pushed up all the way up to $9, exactly where I predicted it would go. And overall, it's looking quite nice. You guys remember just a couple of weeks ago when I told you guys that NIO was starting to look a lot more bullish and we had some very, very good developments coming. I also told you guys that we had this potential inverse head and shoulders, nice cup and handle-like formation. And I told you guys that after earnings, there's a good chance that guidance is going to be pretty decent, and this would help NIO start to pump. I'm sure many of you remember that. I'm sure many of you remember the videos I posted a couple of weeks ago, a couple of trading days ago, even last week. And lo and behold, NIO has been pumping for the last couple of trading days. This thing is up like crazy. It used to be in the 7s. Now it's very close to $9. If you don't know how big that is, this thing is up well over 20% since then, much more than that. It's still pumping. It has lots of strength. And now whether or not this rally continues, not just for NIO, but for the entire market, is going to depend on the Fed. But first, let's talk about NIO, some news that just came out. The NIO ET5 touring is just about to start, so that's some very, very good news as they're going to be launching the product going forward, and they're going to have a lot of bloggers coming to talk about the technology and the benefits of this technology. On top of that, NIO has been cutting prices. I talked about this yesterday, and this in turn has helped the stock price pump even more despite the delays to their business expansion plans. The cuts are likely going to cause more and more sales for the company, and many investors are looking at this as a very optimistic move that NIO made. But now let's talk about the market. Why did the market pump more today? Well, CPI came out as expected at 4%. 4% was actually lower than expected, but core CPI year over year right here was 5.3%, which was as expected. So core was as expected. CPI itself was a little bit lower. Overall, decent number. Energy is what brought it down because energy is weighed into CPI, not core CPI. And overall, decent numbers. I wouldn't say that they're extremely great because core is looking kind of sticky still, but so far there is potential progress that has been made, and this could incentivize the Fed to pause. Now, let's talk about tomorrow. Why is tomorrow so big? PPI is coming out in the morning. Make sure you're ready for that. 1 hour before the market opens, PPI is going to come out. That's the producer price index. And then after that, at 2 o'clock p.m., we have the interest rate hike decision. The Fed is going to make their decision, and it's going to make the headlines. And at 2:30 p.m., we have the Fed press conference when Jerome Powell is going to be speaking. Make sure you're ready for this. It's going to cause a very big move. Now, the market expects the Fed to pause on the rate hike. If we get a pause, and there's a 91% chance about that it's going to happen, if it happens, the market's going to rip. The market's going to rally. We're going to see a big move to the upside. However, if the Fed does the opposite and they give us another rate hike, the market is going to tank. NIO is going to tank. So make sure you're ready for this. There are articles out there saying that the hurt's about to begin. We're about to see, Powell announce another rate hike. We don't know yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But once again, there's a good chance that he will pause tomorrow. NIO has good volume, 81 million, and it's in a very, very good position to continue pumping, especially because the short interest went up pretty hard over the last couple of trading days. We saw about 24 million NIO shares shorted recently, and this could cause more squeezing pressure for the price. However, in order for this to continue, given the good setup it has, we need some good data from the Fed. We need a pause. Get the pause, and NIO is going to pump closer to $10. Don't give us a pause, and NIO is going to come right back down to these lower levels. So if NIO pumps, okay, we have some resistance at 9.25, 9.5, and then also $10. NIO is probably going to make its way closer to $10 if they end up pausing and the market rips. If the opposite happens and the Fed announces another rate hike, remember that's going to be very important. NIO is going to come down to 8.61, then potentially 8.2, and make its way back closer to the sevens, unfortunately. It could come to the low eights, if not even the sevens, if the market gets a huge rug pull. For SPY, if we get a pause, okay, this is not going to happen immediately, but over the next couple of trading days, if not the next week or so, SPY is going to make its way all the way up to 442 eventually if we get the pause. And if it breaks that, 450 is going to likely come. If it breaks a lot of these levels, that's going to be the next major level, it getting very close to 450. If they give us a rate hike, again, SPY is going to get rug pulled all the way back into the 420s. It's going to break below 430 and come down pretty hard. For Tesla, if we get the rate hike, Tesla's going to come all the way down back into the 240s, if not lower. If there's no rate hike and they pause, Tesla has the potential to rally to 270 to 275. And if it breaks 275, we could see this thing get closer to 290 to 300. For the QQQ, if we get a pause, we could pump a little bit more. We could see the QQQ retest 364, then break all the way up closer to 370 and maybe even 375. If the opposite happens and the Fed does not give us what we want and the QQQ gets a rug pull and they give us another rate hike, QQQ is going to come down all the way back to 350, if not lower than that, even lower than that, unfortunately. So there's going to be a rug pull. I'm not a fortune teller. I am not a genie. I don't know for sure what the Fed is going to do. So for that reason, it's very important to be open-minded. I do prefer that they pause. I think there's a good chance that they're going to do that, given the fact that there is clear evidence that CPI is cooling off. We're much lower than where we were a year ago when we were close to the double digits mark. Now we're currently at about 4% CPI and a 5.3% core. So I'm hoping the Fed considers this to pause. There's, according to the market, a 91% chance of that happening. They could be right. If the Fed pauses, expect another rally. The market's going to continue pumping. If the Fed doesn't do it, then it is what it is. We're going to get rug pulled. Be prepared, be open-minded, okay? You have to be open-minded. You have to be prepared for this. Be open-minded and see what happens, manage risks, and get ready. The market may react to PPI in the morning. Then we could slow down as we approach the rate hike decision. And then once the decision comes out, expect a very huge move. The market may pump or the market may crash. Get ready for it. We're going to see what happens with the rate hike. But anyways, regardless of what happens for the short term, the long term is still bright for the markets and NIO. I'm still optimistic for what's about to come. NIO is telling us that the guidance for the company fundamentally is going to be strong. We're going to get some strong deliveries soon, a 20,000 plus delivery month. And by July, they should get 10,000 plus deliveries from just the ES6. So NIO is very optimistic. They're telling us the second half of the year is going to be stronger for them. Let's see it happen and let's see NIO continue to grow. Anyways, guys, thank you all for listening. I have some merch for you guys. If you want to buy like a shirt or a tank top or a hoodie that says money is calling or to the moon or something, that's your choice. It would really benefit me. But if not, it's completely fine as well. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate every single one of you. NIO to the moon, as the long term is still incredibly bright alongside Tesla, SPY, and the QQQ. And peace out.